Welcome to Monday Tsene with Pretoria Psychologists, your favorite psycho-education channel. Here to give you your weekly scaftini to say this is something that you can journey on with us for the week and just get something for yourself. In the month of February, we're talking relationships. And today I am going to be talking about supportive relationship. You have often heard me talking about how I believe that the support you get will determine the status of your mental health. I believe very much that it can be the first thing or one of the go-to elements in supporting our mental health and also supporting us in our difficulties as well as maintaining a healthy mental health status. Having a support structure is as good as seeking professional help, I believe, because in that space, similar to when you are in therapy, you are being listened to, you are not judged, again, depending on the support structure that you have. So here I'm talking about positive support system that is able to maintain a healthy environment and a healthy relationship so that you also feel accepted, you feel acknowledged and not invalidated. I often hear people saying, but if I tell so and so, they will not understand. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about people that are around you or people that you are related to or people that you feel obliged to relate to them. I'm speaking about a space where you find comfort, where you find you are being listened to without you leaving that space thinking that why was I even going there, why was I even talking to that person. You can even gradually introduce how other people in your life can support you through a space of coming to psychotherapy where you have maybe a group therapy or a family therapy or a couples therapy session, and where then the therapist can be an advocate, a voice for you to say this is what you're going through, and then your support system to be able to hear you and support you through your journey. So that is why I am qualifying it to say that just because you relate to someone, it does not mean that it is a supportive system. Oftentimes we say and think that because we need to be loyal to these spaces, that is the only space where we can be able to express ourselves and we feel like we are betraying the people that we are with or that we are committed to when we speak to other people outside of that space. I will give an example of a support group. A support group is a space where individuals from across all walks of life, mostly strangers at most times where we have support groups, and they come together and they share. Sometimes it's not even similar stories or similar experiences, but because everybody knows that they are dealing with something, then there is an understanding. Or being in a clinic together, you might also not be going through the same thing or even not understanding what the other person is going through, but being in that structure is support enough. So that is the support that I am talking about. As you know, I use a lot of case studies from the clients that I see. I have a client that I'm currently seeing, and she was saying that she was experiencing something, and she told this long-term friends of hers about her experience, and they bashed her and judged her, and they were not supportive. So she did not feel supported, even though she felt, these are people that I have known for most of my life, if not for, all of her life. And I feel this is a safe space to share my experience. And she just received all kinds of judgment. She came in the last session saying that I went back into my depression because of how my friends reacted. I made her become aware to say, your friends know you in a particular way, and maybe they have certain expectations on you, and maybe that is not the support that you expected that they give you. Maybe you thought that they will, give that shoulder a listening ear, but that did not happen. And as I said, that threw her into a depression. And other times you might find yourself in a space where you share something and somebody tells you, but other people are experiencing worse. Or even with parents and children, where somebody is saying, I'm feeling suicidal, I am not coping, and the parent will say, but you have everything. I have given you roof over your head, I have given you food, I'm taking you through school, what more do you want? And in that way, invalidating your feelings, feeling then worse. In those instances, you feel like you are then crazy, because you feel like this other, you are just crazy to think and feel the way that you do, because somebody has invalidated your emotion. And that's not necessarily the case. That is why we say it is okay not to be okay. And this a space that is supportive will help you to normalize those emotions. What you're going through will talk with you in a way that you will understand that given the circumstance and given your experience, we're not surprised that you're feeling that way. So with this friend, I said, if I was, with this client, I said to her, if I was your friend, I will have responded in this way. I will say, if I were you, I will not have acted this way, or I will not have felt this way, or I will not have, contributed in this way to the situation. But because I understand what you're going through, and you are a unique individual, and I cannot dictate how you are supposed to live your life, I'm here for you whenever you want to share your emotions of distress. So most times people think that by agreeing and being supportive to an individual, they are also agreeing with the lifestyle, they are agreeing with the choices, and maybe even condoning what they are looking at as wrong choices from the other person. That's not necessarily the truth. You are just saying that you as an individual, you will not act that way. So meaning that your thought processes and your own reservoirs in how you deal with challenges, your own resilience is different to how the other person deals with it. But also at the same time, you see how come the other person acted the way that they did, and they are feeling the way that they are. So meaning that only that understanding can be enough. So things like listening, being empathetic. So empathy is putting yourself in another person's shoes. Listening is just actively listening and not necessarily coming up or having to feel an obligation to come up with solutions. At times it can also be comforting the person, just being there by their side, not saying anything, not saying a word, or even just saying that I will take you to a place of help if you feel overwhelmed yourself. It can happen that you don't even feel like supporting that person, but support can be showing them or pointing them to a place where they can feel supported. With that, as we close off February, where we were talking all things relationship, in being in a supportive relationship can contribute positively to our mental health when we are able to identify spaces and pockets of places where we are supported in a positive way. With that, see you in the month of March, where we are discussing all things related to what each thing, maybe we're going to be looking at different topics of how each thing contributes positively to your mental health. See you next time.